Welcome back, boys and girls. So we are going to be continuing the story we started in our last session. However, in this part of the story, other than just reading and understanding, we will be examining punctuations and using those punctuations in individual sentences. We will also look very carefully to see how they were used in the story. Now, before I go on, Lynn Truss states, proper punctuation is both the sign and the cause of clear thinking. Proper punctuation is both the sign and the cause of clear thinking. Now, I want you to look at this first statement. What message do you get? Let's eat, Grandma. Let's eat, Grandma. Now, read the second statement and see if you get the same understanding. Let's eat, Grandma. Let's eat, Grandma. Did you get the same meaning from both of the statements as I read them? Well, in the first one, there is an exclamation. Let's eat, Grandma. To me, I'm thinking someone is saying, let's eat, Grandma. When you read the second one, the comma says that you should briefly pause. Let's eat, Grandma. Well, thank God for punctuation, lest someone might have eaten your grandma. Now it's time for us to continue reading the passage, Adam's First Flight. Before we read, let's observe some sentences and see how we could insert punctuations, if you think you can. Now, let's quickly go over those punctuation marks that you might want to use. We have the comma, where we pause briefly, full stops, where we stop and take a breath, exclamations, where we use high pitch for statements of exclamation and surprise, question marks, where we use a lower tone or a puzzling note for questions asked. Now, quotation marks are used in pairs to set off speech, a quotation, a phrase, or a word. Capital letters, each sentence and proper nouns should begin with a capital letter. Then we have the apostrophe. This is used to mark omissions in contradiction and positive nouns and pronouns. Okay, let's look at this piece of writing. I want you to take a minute and go through it carefully. Try to find where you think the punctuation marks that we discussed previously should be inserted. Take your time and do it. Okay, now let's look at the piece of writing with the punctuation marks inserted. As you could see, there was the need for quotation marks. There was also the need for quite a few full stops, apostrophe, capital letters, and an exclamation mark. Now, were you able to insert these in any way? Now, remember that these punctuation marks are very important so that when you read, you will have a smooth flow and you will be able to understand the passage better. Now let's continue. Adam's uncle related to him the experiences in the air during stormy weather. He had done many kind and generous acts of kindness to travelers. Adam felt proud of his uncle's heroic deeds. He promised himself to be as courageous as his dear Uncle John. His uncle taught him he must be calm whenever there is an emergency. Adam listened to his uncle's words. He felt more relaxed now. The boy examined the instrument panel. He was amazed at the number of knobs, buttons, and lights. He inquired about the many gadgets on the plane. His uncle was only too pleased to give the boy a lesson on the aircraft. Here is the altimeter. It determines the height at which the plane flies. It also measures the pressure of the atmosphere. And here's the compass. It directs our course. We are about to land, my lad, his uncle said. We'll be descending in a few minutes. Don't be nervous or afraid. Keep looking at the fishing boats coming to the shore. How beautiful they look, exclaimed Adam. The white pelican landed right on target. The porters unloaded the plane. The boxes were placed on loading carts to be taken away by vans to the hotels. Adam looked around the airport. He bought some snacks and drinks for himself, Uncle John, and the porters. When everything was taken out of the plane, Uncle John said, "It's time to leave. We've done our job for the week." Adam boarded the plane and he fastened his seatbelt. His fears were gone. He bubbled with excitement. The white pelican soared in the air again. Adam watched the fishing boats, which appeared smaller and smaller as the plane ascended higher and higher into the air. "We'll be landing in a few minutes," said Uncle John. The plane circled the field as they waited for the signal from the control tower. When the all-clear signal appeared, the plane landed and taxied to the terminal building. As the door of the plane opened, Adam rushed to his dad's open arms. "I've done it, Dad! I've done it!" he exclaimed. "I'm sure one day I shall be a pilot as Uncle John," he said. There was a great smile on his face and the pride in his eyes. Wow! Now that was quite a story. How was the ending for you? Did you expect such an ending? Remember, I asked you the last time to think about what will happen in the next part of the story. So, were your predictions right? I hope you were. Now, were you excited to be journeying with Adam in the sky, or were you still scared? What did you learn from the story? Well, I will share what I learned. I learned that some new experiences can be quite thrilling. Can you say who were the main characters in the story? Yes, we had Adam and we had his uncle. Okay, boys and girls, I really hope that you enjoyed that continuation of the story. Now that we saw the entire passage, and we have looked at the various punctuations that were found or should be used in the reading passage. Let's go them over. Remember that the comma indicates that we should pause briefly. The full stops tell us to stop and take a breath so that you could continue reading and not run out of breath. The exclamation mark shows us surprise or a wow moment, something that's thrilling or exciting. It can also be a scary or exclamation of fear. The question mark is used to indicate that a question is being asked. Quotation marks indicates the direct words that are being spoken by someone. We have the capital letters, which are used to indicate the beginning of a new sentence. It also indicates those words which are considered as proper nouns. And then we have the apostrophe, which would have shown us that there were omissions in some words, we therefore call contractions. Apostrophes were also used to show possession in terms of nouns and pronouns. And there you have it, guys. That's our lesson. Remember, the story is in the Rainbow Reader Book 4, so find that book if you can and read it over. Take note of the punctuation marks and see how they were used. I encourage you to continue to soar high as you ride the clouds of new experiences through reading every day. Have fun and stay safe until next time.